everyone.
I'm Maisie.
I'm Cameron.
And welcome back to Toxic. Today we're talking red flags versus deal breakers. Because I feel like we see red flags, we acknowledge them, and we move right past them. Like, when did red flags turn into suggestions?
Okay, Maisie, I have a question.
What's your question?
Are green flags real anymore?
I don't know. I've never really believed in the whole, like, red flag, green flag thing. I think people have bad traits and good traits. I guess you can call them whatever you want, but are you saying, like, do good traits exist anymore?
I don't know, like, because I agree with you, like, I think there's good traits, bad traits. I think there's neutral traits.
Yeah, it's just like, meh.
That can go either way, depending on the person, but I feel like in today's society, it's either red flags or green flags. Not necessarily traits.
I would say, if you're asking, like, is there still good traits out there? I would say yes, 100%. I have all of them. Duh. And then, I guess if you want to call them green flags, it'd be the same thing, yeah. I mean, not everyone's just, like, a walking, talking pile of trash. What do you think, Cameron?
I like the way that you put it, but I also feel like there's a difference between green flags and being a good person.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you could show all this and that, but be a bad person. You could have green flags.
Yeah, and still be a terrible person.
Be a terrible person. So does that mean they still exist, or...
But all bad people still have good traits. Like, I don't think there's a single person on the planet that was, like that's only has bad traits. Does that make sense? So I feel like everyone has at least one good trait. The same as, like, I think I'm a good person. I have terrible traits. There's a few in there, you know. They flash every once in a while. But, like, I wouldn't say I'm a terrible person. I would still say I'm a good person. And I have a lot more good traits than I do bad traits. But it goes the same as, like, bad people still have good traits.
Mm-hmm. So then I think, to answer that question, I think yes.
Yes.
But our generation calls it green flags. Whereas we call it good traits.
Yeah. I think it's the same concept.
It's the exact same concept.
Yeah. What is a harmless red flag that we ignore?
I think that a harmless red flag that I ignore is lack of communication. Because I just, like, feel so much sympathy towards the person and be like, oh, they just don't want to talk about it right now.
You're just too nice. I think we've established this in the first episode as well. I think a harmless red flag that I ignore... I don't know, sometimes I feel like I ignore the big ones too. But, like, a harmless one I feel like would be... less communication, I would say more, like, involvement. Like, if you don't involve me in things, it's not that big of a deal, but, like, why can't I be there? Who's there that you don't want me to see?
No, but I think we both ignore both small red flags. But also the big ones, too.
Yeah. This is why we don't give each other relationship advice.
No, we don't. We try.
We both ignore the opposite spectrum of them. So when I'm like, Cameron, you're stupid for ignoring that, I would never ignore that. You're like, okay, but you ignored this, and I would never ignore that. And I'd be like, wow.
No, but I think a harmless red flag that everyone ignores is the name of this podcast.
Toxic?
Probably.
And the episode.
I really think that all of us, as like a whole general population, ignore the tiniest little thing of toxicity.
I think...
because it's so tiny.
Yeah, I think you're right. But I also feel like there's so much give and take with relationships, and as quick as we are to tell other people what they're doing wrong, you gotta sit back and think about the things that you're doing that may bother them that they don't bring up.
Moving on, have you ever changed your standards for a specific person?
Ooh, I think that one's a tough question. I don't feel like I feel like at every point of my life, I've had different standards.
Mm.
Like, if you would ask me, like, last year, or not last year, I guess, like, 2024, she would have been like, what does a man, like, what's the list of things a man needs to have to even talk to you? I'd be like, he's got to do this, he's got to do that, he's got to do, he's got to post me once a week, he's got to tell me I'm pretty once a week, he's got to do this, he's got to do that. Now, if you'd ask me, like, what is the one thing, or, like, what's your list, I would look back at that list and I'd be like, I would prefer to have wonderful quality time together over being posted once a week. I don't care. Oh. I would rather be involved in the things you're doing and build a life together than worry about what you think of my outfit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like I've always had the standards have been different in every point of my life. I will say there's a few, like, cardinal things that I, like, have 100% stuck by always, and not that I lowered those standards or changed those standards for anybody, but I didn't realize they didn't meet my standards until after I'd already been in the relationship. You get a couple months into it and you're like, one thing comes up and you're like, oh, nope, gotta go.
I think I have changed my standards for one person.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think I meant to change them. It just kind of evolved over time.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like when I first got into that relationship, I had the highest of highest standards.
Yeah.
Because
you were young.
I was young, and I knew what I wanted, and I wanted, like, to be treated like a princess, and, like, this and that. And then as the relationship started to grow, and, like, we got farther into it and everything like that, and we were also growing as people, and, like, obviously the community around us and the internet, it really influences everything.
Yeah.
And I just remember having such a hard time getting a grasp on reality that I lowered my standards just to stay in the relationship. Which is something no one should ever do.
No.
Ever.
Modifying your standards is, I think, different though than lowering your standards.
Yes, 100%. I feel like now, going into the relationship I'm in now, I don't have to raise them, I don't have to lower them. I'm going into the relationship expecting certain things.
Yeah.
And at this point, I've gotten that. But it's like, it's still a fresh relationship. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it's always something you can talk about later.
Yeah.
Talk about them as they come up. And that's where it comes into, like, modifying your standards is, like, okay, what are you going to give? And then what can I, in turn, give? You know what I mean? To come to a civil understanding of each other.
I also feel like, not even just relationships, but, like, going to friendships.
Yeah.
I feel like I have lowered my standards in one friendship. And it is my longest friendship.
Okay, never mind. Not on the list.
Not on the list. But it is my longest friendship. And I feel like since it is my longest friendship, and since I've been practically in her life, my whole life,
mm-hmm.
I feel like I've given a lot. I've let my guard down a lot.
Yeah.
She is... even though she doesn't show it or seem like it, but I know she's pure of heart and would never do anything to actually hurt our friendship.
I don't think she does it on purpose. I think she's so oblivious and airheaded sometimes. While we're filming, it is literally my birthday.
While we're filming, it's
Thursday,
her birthday.
January 15th.
So if you're watching this, make sure you leave a comment down below and wishing Maisie a happy birthday.
Late happy birthday.
And no, just a happy birthday.
But it'll be a late happy birthday, which is fine.
It's fine.
I appreciate all of them. Yeah. Cameron, what's a deal breaker for you that ends the relationship instantly?
Not having manners.
I would say that's mine too.
Because I feel like you can be a good person. You can be a good person. Have respect towards others. You can be nice. You can do everything right. But if you're rude, done. Bye.
Yeah.
It's like, if you're even rude to one of my friends, bye. It's more of how you interact with people you don't know.
Yeah. So I have a funny story when you're done with your sentence. Okay.
Because I feel like if we go out to a restaurant, and if you're rude to the waiter, bye. Done. Get out.
Yeah.
Literally, bye. Like, they're literally serving us.
Yeah, I feel like if you slip every once in a while, or you're just having a bad day,
I mean,
like, there's been times where I've been like, they'll be like, can you give me a water? And I'll be like, please? And they're like, please. No, so if you're, like, willing to try and, like, work on that, great. But if you just downright are rude,
straight up rude?
Yuck. So, funny story. I had I wouldn't call him boyfriend. We were just kind of like in the talking phase. And I was like introducing him to my family, which is a very rare thing for me. You can ask Cameron. Nobody meets my family.
Nobody meets their family. Everybody meets mine.
So he never met Papa Randy.
Mm-hmm.
But he met my dad. And he walked in and my dad was like, hey, nice to meet you. I'm Josh. And went to shake his hand and the guy just didn't shake my dad's hand. So for me, I was raised, like, my dad's whole side of the family is from the southern, southern Indiana and Georgia. So even though I wasn't raised there, I was raised the way they were there. So, like, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, please, thank you, no, thank you, yes, blah, 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 blah. And when you meet somebody, you shake a hand.
Oh, 100%.
And, like, not no, like, little shake. Like, you need, like, a good... So he didn't shake my dad's hand. And I'm not even joking. Something, like... I don't know if he was looking at his phone or whatever. But my dad turned and looked at me and was like... And I was like... And I just shook my head. And so, like, finished, being there. And on the way back, I was driving. And I was like, so this isn't going to work. And he was like, what? And I was like, you just... It doesn't work. And he's like, well, why not? And I was like, you didn't shake my dad's hand. And he's like, who shakes hands nowadays? And I was like, literally everybody.
Right. I also, going off of that, I wasn't necessarily raised the exact same way as you, but I was taught the correct way. Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. Shaking hands. You're always saying please, and you're always saying thank you.
Oh, yeah. A deal breaker for me is if you are too clingy.
You
know how I feel about this. And, like, I just can't do it, dude.
Ooh, okay.
I can't dedicate 24 of my hours of my day to you. I have a job and a bedtime.
Yeah. Another deal breaker for me is if you're not... I wouldn't say if someone is being too clingy, because one, ew. Like, why are you climbing me like a monkey?
We're thinking of the same person right now, right? Okay. Yeah.
But I also feel like a big deal breaker is not doing enough. But also knowing the limits when too much is too much.
Too much is too
because
much,
what happened at that bar, I was like...
Yeah!
Literally,
we were all uncomfortable. Everyone but him was uncomfortable.
I literally turned to Jenna. I said,
I literally was like...
I was like, can she breathe on her own?
Okay, so here's the story time. So we're sitting in this, like, L-shaped... There's, like, a bench against the wall, and then there's, like, a stage that's never in use. So I don't know why they have it, but whatever. So it's, like, Jenna, Cameron, this guy... We'll call him Carl. So Carl's sitting in the corner of this booth, and I'm sitting on the stage. So we're, like, next to each other. We're probably this far apart. Maybe less.
I mean, definitely
literally
less.
Maybe less. And he was like, you can come sit on my lap. And I was like, no, I'm literally fine right here. Thank you so much. And he's he literally grabs me and slides me across the stage, which is made of wood, by the way. I literally got a splinter in my butt cheek. And I turned and I was like, can you not? Like, I literally just got stabbed by this stage. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry. I just
I wanted to be near
I just...
you.
Ugh!
You need to know when enough is
Take
enough.
a breath,
He would
dude.
always come over to me and Jenna. You guys good? Do you want me to hold your drinks so you can go to the bathroom?
Dude, it was
Do you
just
want
too
a
much.
pizza? Do you want a pizza? Do you want another drink? Do you need to go outside? I'll walk you out.
And then he was like trying to fight everybody in,
And then
in the bar.
He was saying that stuff to me, and I looked at him and I said, Carl, you can leave now. Like, go enjoy this is my birthday. Go enjoy your night.
He was doing too much. But I will say, I think the reason he checked on you so many times is because I did nothing but be like, hold on, I have to check on Cameron. Every time he'd be like, hey, do you want to go down the patio? We're walking to the, like, up to the bar. I'd be like, hold on, I gotta check on Cameron. Hold on, I gotta check on Cameron. Hold on, where's Cameron? Hold on, is Cameron okay? Hold on, does Cameron need a drink? Does Cameron need something? And so instead of me, like, but that was the other thing is I literally would be like, hold on, I have to check on Cameron. And then I would turn and he's like literally already over there talking to Cameron. I'm like, that's
like,
not your friend.
You're like, I couldn't even take a breath.
No, and girl, now you know how I felt.
But also, like, with that, he was trying to pick fights with everybody in the bar. Everybody!
No, because I literally was like, you have to stop fighting it, like trying to fist fight everybody in the bar. Because ain't nobody that loves a good fist fight more than me. You know what I mean? I do love a good fist fight. Like, that man's trying to order a beer. What did he do?
No, literally. And, like, give people too many chances. Yes.
Yes, but I also feel like I never actually saw a future with Pete. I think I gaslit myself into thinking that there could be something.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like Pete was more opportunal. It was convenient because, like, we were both single at the same time, and then, you know, we'd do whatever. We'd hang out for a few weeks, and we'd go to the bar, and we'd, you know, be nice to each other. And then, you know, we'd branch off. Something would happen. I get drunk at the bar and can't act right, and then he doesn't want to talk to me anymore. One time, nothing will ever beat. Pete had came over. I had an apartment. Pete had came over, and we were watching... I think we were watching Grey's Anatomy. Yeah. And it was, like, we were just hanging out, chilling, whatever. And I said something. I don't even remember what I said. He just stood up and walked out and left. Didn't say a word. And I was like, cool, that was easier than I thought it was going to be. It was more convenient. I don't think it was ever, like, actually giving him chances to be something because I never...
thought of it that way.
I never thought of it that way. It was just a convenience thing.
I do think I give people too many chances.
Yeah, 5 years worth.
5.5 years worth of chances. But it's okay. But I am a firm believer. Don't know if you are. Probably not. Actually, wait. I know you're not. But I'm a firm believer that everybody deserves a second chance. Whether it's relationships, friendships, career paths, anything. I feel like everyone deserves a second chance. Because we're human, we all make mistakes, and we can learn from those mistakes and then do better the second time around. That's just the way that I perceive and think about it, but I feel like relationships, friendships, situationships, all of them, I feel like second chances can be given, but I feel like they're not needed.
I don't think everyone deserves a second chance. I'm not a big second chance type of person. I'm kind of a...
one and done.
Make your bed, you lay in it, you know what I mean? And you're right, people make mistakes and people can do better. Do better somewhere else.
That was good.
Bye.
That was good.
Have a good one. Cameron, have you ever clocked the red flag early and still stayed?
Oh, 100%,
I
bro.
knew your answer to this.
100%. Oh my god, I remember the first time me and Jeff broke up. Right? Got back together, whatever. And instantly I clocked something. I was like, wow, this is not right.
Let's try again.
Let's try again. But it was this. I said circle earlier, but I'm going to change it to a carousel. It was just going and going and going. But I did clock a lot of red flags the second time around. I clocked even more the third time, even more the fourth time. But I still stayed because I'm the type of person that sees the tiniest bit of good in someone, and I'm just like, oh my god, I can make this work.
Yeah.
But I feel like with Paisley, I clocked a red flag right at the beginning of our friendship.
Yeah.
And I still stayed.
Yeah.
Same with Star.
Yeah.
And I still stayed. But I also feel like I took a chance. I will say for Paisley and Star, I did not give them a second chance.
Mm-mm.
I will say that is great improvement for me. But I also feel like once I clocked the red flag, I should have mentioned it.
Resolved.
Rather than just let it bubble up and have like the biggest.
Yeah.
What about you? Have you ever clocked a red flag?
Oh, yeah.
And stayed?
Yeah.
Moving on. Can a red flag turn into a deal breaker over time?
Yes. I think anything that you let build up and don't discuss right away will absolutely turn into a deal breaker. That was the whole reason that I just went through a breakup and then had to figure it out afterwards, because we both had a tendency to let things bother us and never talk about them because we just didn't want to fight. So instead of having an adult conversation, we just kind of like bottled it up. I also struggle to talk about my feelings. He does the same. And over time, we just literally grew apart. We were like, yeah, this isn't working anymore. So I've slowly built a hatred for you.
I feel like, I don't know if it's just like my opinion on it, but I feel like if it was a red flag in the beginning that bothered you so much, why'd you stay?
That's a fair point. What if it wasn't something that bothered you so much? What if it was just something that was like, well, that's kind of annoying, but whatever. And then over time, it just continues to get more and more annoying.
That's also a good point. But I also feel like if...
I don't think the big things fester.
No.
I think if it's something that bothers you enough, you will talk about it. But if it's something small, that's when it starts to build, because it's just not that big of a deal.
No.
You know what I mean?
I feel like at the beginning of a relationship, I wouldn't necessarily say, like, you have to sit down and talk about your green flags and red flags and your expectations going into a relationship, but I feel like you need to have a conversation of boundaries you have with one another. And I also feel like you need to communicate things that you expect and things that could be a make it or break it situation.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, I also feel like relationships shouldn't be built off of knowing what the other person doesn't like.
Yeah.
I feel like a relationship should be built on trust, communication, comprehension, respect, manners, all of it. But I also feel like a relationship shouldn't be built on just doing the right thing because you know the person doesn't like it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, a relationship shouldn't have that, like, tug effect. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. If something bothers you enough that you have to think about if you want to stay in the relationship, just leave.
Anyway, that's a wrap for today. If this episode made you rethink someone or yourself or both, that's all we wanted. Notice the red flags, notice the deal breakers, notice what you have tolerated. And if nothing actually changes, well, sit with it. And remember, was it toxic?
Probably. Purple rain, purple rain.
Anyways, so
You have to leave that in.